And I'm the host of the Bradley Report. I'm also the president of United in Peace, Inc. This show is brought to you by United in Peace, Inc. The issues that I bring to this show is with the help of the producer, and that is Dr. Terry Marsh Bradley. She's also the chairman of United in Peace, Inc. There's a lot of issues that's been happening. There was a vote by the Supreme Court a few days ago, 7-2 against Trump. 7-2 against Trump. It appears that people are waking up and realize that he's really a threat to America by the things that he's doing. And those decisions was against some of the executive orders that he was pushing. You hear on the news today where he can't fire all the federal workers like he say he want to. They had to bring back all those workers that was working for the CDC. He don't have autonomy to bring in the military into the city of Chicago or the state of Illinois like he want to. But like they say, politics is local that makes the decision on what's happening nationally. Yesterday, everybody that was running for either a congressional race or a state race, be it the governor, be it the congressman, be it the senator, United States senator, had to file the petitions, which was the first day. If you're running for a county office, you had to file your petitions down at the county building here in the city of Chicago. The good governor, J.B. Pritzker, and the young man that's going to be his running mate, Kristen, filed their petition to run for governor. They filed almost 50,000 signatures. And I'm so glad that I was able to aid and assist them. I believe I may have got maybe 120 signatures for them or whatever it is. But it's very important that we don't let this state turn red. So without further ado, Amadi, could you bring that up with the governor?
Hi, this is Governor J.B. Pritzker.
And I'm Christian Mitchell, JB's running mate.
Really excited to be turning in our petition signatures to get on the ballot in 2026 for governor and lieutenant governor.
Thanks to your help, we've collected petitions all across Illinois from all 102 counties.
Looking forward to getting out on the campaign trail with all of you. Thank you for your support by signing our petitions. And we've got more than 50,000 of them. Can't turn them all in, but really excited today to launch the campaign. Thanks for joining us. Let's keep Illinois moving forward.
Thank you.
That's a lot of support for a man that's doing a lot of good work. You're seeing him on the forefront along with the mayor that's fighting to make sure that soldiers don't run the streets because they're seeing what's happening with ICE and Homeland Security and the Border Patrol and what they're doing within the city, whether it's on the north side, south side, east side, or west side. One of the things that gets me, I'm old enough to remember the Vietnam War. And I had a lot of friends that went over to Vietnam to fight that war. We didn't win that war. But they was dropping napalm and Agent Orange, and a lot of that got on the American servicemen that was over there fighting that war. And a lot of you may have relatives that are veterans from that war. And a lot of them got caught up with the fumes or whatever it is from the Agent Orange, and it destroyed them, killed them, a lot of them. I'm saying that to say this. I understand that a federal judge may be making a decision to stop ICE and the Border Patrol or Homeland Security from throwing those gas canisters out, and is affecting the citizens within the community where they go. You reading about police officers getting gassed, and well, I ain't got to explain to you. When they came on the north side, and people realized that it's not just them attacking Hispanics. They're attacking anyone that they feel that they can do this and don't have to worry about it. Well, today, they had the individual, I can't pronounce his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. He's supposed to be the face of the Border Patrol or the ICE. And allegedly, they saw him throwing one of them canisters, and the judge had told them not to do it. So they had him come to court in person. So they could ask questions. The governor has let it be known that if they are breaking laws within the state of Illinois, they should be charged. They're terrorizing the community. They grabbing children. I've seen how 3 or 4 big guys come up and ask a child on his way to school, how old are you? How long you been in town? I mean, in America, and next thing you know, they tackle him, throwing him down on the ground. And then put him in a van and drive off. Nobody know what happened to him. Where did he go? You've seen or you've read and you saw on the news how they even shot a pastor that was praying in the head with one of those pepper guns or whatever it is. They disrupting communities, but they're supposed to be coming in to get the worst of the worst that they say, that they getting off the streets. Nobody wants criminals to be running wild on the streets. But you got to applaud the governor and the mayor and those elected officials and religious leaders and business leaders and community coming together, black and white and Hispanic, you name them. Everybody coming together. When 250,000 people come together in a protest, a No King's Day protest, that spoke volume. So I want you to hear what the mayor has to say. Sister Monty, hit that for me. Border Patrol leader goes to court today.
Him will reflect truth. The Trump administration said that they were going to go after the worst of the worst. Criminals, individuals who have caused harm, and I just hope that this judge provides some level of accountability, because that's not what's happening right now.
Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino is in front of a federal judge this morning. What do you want to hear from him about ICE and immigration, Border Patrol enforcement that's been going on in Chicago?
Bovino is a barbaric individual. The Trump administration has a proclivity to lie. I'm not quite sure if we hear anything from him will reflect truth. The Trump administration said that they were going to go after the worst of the worst. Criminals, individuals who have caused harm, and I just hope that this judge provides some level of accountability, because that's not what's happening right now.
Court hearing on federal use of tear gas. We are going to check in with Casey Cronus, who has a summary for us.
You know,
Casey.
I was sharing with you.
That's right. Right now we are just waiting for.
I was sharing with you about this Border Patrol leader that's in court. I want to show this to you so you can see for yourself. But I want to show this piece first with the governor. Yes, that one right there. Right. See what the governor had to say. He's not worried for himself. They talking about arresting him and the mayor. So, Sister Monty, let's go to work.
Out here about Trump threatening to put you in jail. I don't know anyone that covers Trump that views him as someone with a sense of humor. So if he's saying it, it's obviously on the table for him. And I wonder if you've thought that through, if you have a plan, if you know what would happen if he came to arrest you.
A plan. Look, I have said, very explicitly, come get me, because he's got no reason, there's no probable cause, there's nothing. He is literally just threatening people that are his political opponents, and you've heard him do that writ large against Democrats, calling us, essentially terrorists, and saying that Democrats are Antifa, and again, no one's really defined what that is. It's just some mythical thing out there that he thinks anybody that's opposed to him belongs to. It's sad. I mean, there is something wrong with him, and I really believe that he's got to have family members who want to do something, but nobody's close enough to him apparently who would help him. And the people around him, Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem and Lutnick and the rest, they apparently are just taking advantage of his condition. So I'm not worried for myself. I mean, could it happen? Sure. But I think there'd be an awful lot of people who'd be concerned if he's just randomly having people arrested.
Stage in a Chicago courtroom, a federal judge now demanding that Customs and Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino will meet with her every day to report immigration activities there in the Windy City. That's as tensions grow over the use of tear gas by federal agents carrying out immigration enforcement in the area. Justice Department reporter Luke Barr joins me now. So Luke, daily in-person meetings with a federal judge. Break down this ruling for us.
Well, Kira, this is certainly something that the judge wants oversight on. Commander Greg Bovino, who's in charge of those operations in Los Angeles, in Portland, and of course in Chicago, is going to be required to meet with her every day at 6 p.m. to go over the immigration enforcement actions of the day. She said, quote, "My role is simply to see that in the enforcement of those laws that you and your agents operating under that you are acting in a manner that is consistent with your obligations under law, meaning that it is consistent with the Constitution. That's from our reporter Jim Hill in court. And Bovino sat for almost an hour on the stand listening to the judge go over the temporary restraining order she put in place, basically restricting the use of tear gas in some cases against journalists, against the protesters that are out there protesting these CBP operations. But DHS and Bovino have contended that they need to use them because they're under attack. Now, Judge Ellis said a hearing for next month, but she also said that Bovino needs to have a body-worn camera on him by Friday, as well as turn over any use of force or any incident reports and any body-worn camera that agents may wear, Kira.
So we reported last night that there could be a shakeup in the ranks of ICE. Do you have any more details for us?
Well, Kira, as many as 12 field office directors, meaning the people in charge of running these field offices, of getting that goal, the administration goal of 3,000 arrests per day, could be out. Now, this is significant because they're going to replace, or they're considering replacing, these men and women of ICE with Border Patrol agents. Now, the tactics of Border Patrol agents and the tactics of ICE are very different. They have different missions. They're looking to, ICE does targeted enforcement. Border Patrol, of course, does those random stops. Now, Kira, this has all been spearheaded by DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, Corey Lewandowski, who's a senior advisor, and Bovino, who we just mentioned. And last night, Trish McLaughlin, the spokesperson for DHS, said they have no personal updates, but it's something that we'll be looking at.
All right, we will too. Luke Barr, thank you.
Before I close out, I want to tell you that what they're doing is wrong and it's happening to American citizens. Sister Money, hit this last one. The last piece that I put up there. It's a Fox News story. Yeah.
Afternoon for us on a Tuesday as we continue our breaking coverage of this pivotal court hearing on federal use of tear gas. We are going to check in with Casey Cronus, who has a summary for us of the very latest developments from right outside Dirksen. Casey.
Hey, that's right. Right now, we are just waiting for Commander Gregory Bovino to exit the Dirksen Federal Building. I'll step out of the way here so you can take a look at the entrance. Right now, we are on Jackson. The attorneys for Gregory Bovino exited the courthouse a few minutes ago, and we can assume that he is not far behind, although, as you know, there are alternate exits and entrances to this building, for example, when they usher jury members in and out. So it is possible that he may use another exit. And actually, it looks like people are heading this way, but I have not seen Gregory Bovino myself, so I'm not sure if that was perhaps an attorney for him here, but we're going to head down there shortly and check that out. Let's send things back to you so we can pick up our camera here and head that way. I'm not sure why people were running that way because, again, I did not see Gregory myself, but we're going to head over there and check it out.
Casey Cronus, thank you very much. You can see a couple of other agents. Anita said there were 4 inside. It looks like the backup has been called there, some of them masked. I do know that there are 2 exits in that building. One of them is facing toward Clark Street. The other one faces east. And so perhaps Mr. Bovino is going to try to exit out the other way. And doing the math there, perhaps he's going to get a little backup so that he doesn't get swarmed by a crowd of protesters there. Let's send it inside to Anita Blanton to see what she is seeing from the bullpen. Anita?
Yeah, I just saw no less than 20 federal agents go by with helmets on, fully dressed. And that may be because of crowd control outside. I did not see Gregory Bovino amongst them. And I can tell you that as soon as he came off the stand today, he left. So let's go back out to Casey and find out what's going on outside.
Hey, Anita. Yeah, right now there is a kind of like a scuffle here happening. Just those agents that you mentioned are wearing helmets, are being surrounded by some of the protesters and members of the media out here. Protesters right now are shouting ICE out. As you mentioned, Anita, I also have not seen Gregory Bovino here with my own eyes, but we can see those other federal agents. And so I think the idea here is that protesters feel Gregory Bovino must not be far behind. But as Anthony was starting to say, there are a couple of entrances and exits here. So it is very possible that Gregory Bovino himself does not exit this way. At the same time, he has been someone who has put himself in the spotlight, issuing videos on social media, walking outside of the Broadview ICE facility, so he hasn't shied away from cameras in the past. It is very possible then that he does want to come out, show his face in front of cameras and protesters here outside. Again, this sort of gathering here, this entrance being surrounded. Not seeing Bovino with our own eyes. Protesters now shouting, ICE, go home. There are also some counter protesters out here, but many more anti-ICE protesters than there are counter protesters. We'll send things back to you for now.
Casey, thank you very much. And to kind of reiterate what Paris was saying a short time ago, Gregory Bovino is with Customs and Border Protection. He's not with ICE. Based on Paris's reporting and the reporting that he was citing, he was describing as the ICE efforts in recent weeks is way more targeted. And some of these CBP efforts is a little more haphazard because they are deploying tactics that they typically use in more rural areas around border towns. And it's a completely different story, obviously, when you get to an urban area like Chicago.
So we saw Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino enter through the front of the courthouse this morning, which was surprising because there is a quote-unquote back door he could have gone through. And as he entered earlier,
what we're witnessing here is where the people, everyone is realizing that everyone will have to be held accountable for their actions. And you're seeing where the Department of Justice, Pam, has to be held accountable because it come across the news that they say they made a mistake and they presented some evidence that wasn't the real evidence in a case trying to get an indictment against a lot of people that were targeted by the president. In that 7-2 decision, I believe about 93 pages or whatever it is, they broke down a lot of things that were done wrong because the president signed these executive orders. And including in that was pretty much where the president has told the Department of Justice to go and indict this person and indict that person, and then they went and found someone who had never prosecuted a case to indict a former FBI agent, an attorney general. They talking about indicting voting. And I want to say this. I'm of the opinion and belief that there's only one God, and any individual that feel like they are God is going to handle that situation. I tell people, don't give up on faith in God, don't give up on hope, and by all means, don't give up on America. Because the things that's happening with the food stamps probably be getting cut off November the 1st, and the president and the Republican House and the Republican Senate can do something to make sure that that don't happen, and they trying to say it's the Democrats' fault, but it's not. Y'all know it's not. They have filed their petitions, Republicans and Democrats, in the state of Illinois, and probably filed their petitions in other states. Don't make a mistake and get food like a lot of people got food, especially those that voted for Trump because they thought he was going to make America great. And when they see that the farmers that believed in Trump, and they see where Trump has given Argentina $40 billion and trying to make it where the farmers have to buy the beef from Argentina, which was their competitor, as well as buying the soybeans, I believe it is, that they were selling to China. Now China no longer buy the soybeans from America. They're buying it from Argentina. A lot of people were seeing this. And it has went beyond parties. Whether you wear a blue hat or a red hat, it's affecting all of us as Americans. So I want to say, have a way that you pray. Pray that God forgive us for our sins. Pray that He continue to bless us, because He knows everything. Bless us with His grace, mercy, sustainability, and keep a hedge of protection around us and our families. And I know, God, you're going to work it out. To God be the glory. That's Gator's story.